A pleasant good evening and welcome to SAT TV's Channel 9 Evening News. I'm your presenter, Larry LaRock. Thank you for joining us. Among the major developments, thieves rob Muslim store in Roseau. No confidence, no worry for Grenada PM. Phone hacking police charge Rebecca Brooks. West Indies captain sends warning to England. Detail of these and other stories after the break.
Free at last, free at last, free at last. Yes, Dominica, we are here at last. Come in today and sign up for your SAT internet. No fixed line charges, no installation charge, no modem charge, and no contract required. Just come in and sign up for the most economical internet broadband service. Choose one of 5 packages starting at $28.75. Together with your internet package, you will receive a telephone where you will be able to call SAT to SAT for free. No rental charges. Yes, SAT to SAT for free. What are you waiting for? Come in today. Sign up now for your high-speed broadband internet only with SAT. For more information, call 448-5095 or 448-5096. Remember, SAT Telecoms is the people's choice.
Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. One motorcyclist learned a valuable lesson on the rules of when and when not to overtake after causing a free vehicle accident on Friday, May 11th. The accident, which occurred at the night, was when the rider of a Yamaha scooter registration number PR832 was traveling behind of a Mitsubishi van registration number 8530 in the direction going toward Fonkole. However, the scooter rider made a big mistake when he proceeded to overtake the van in a corner just before Maximum Building Supplies and made contact with the van and an oncoming Suzuki XL7 SUV registration number GA246, which is owned by the government. The rider was rushed to the Princess Margaret Hospital following injuries he suffered from the collision. The occupants of the other vehicles involved were not injured, but the vehicle suffered damage and the scooter was extensively damaged as a result of the collision. And in related news, one young man will think more carefully next time about his speeding actions while operating a Toyota Ceres car registration number PJ970, as this resulted in a head-on collision with a Toyota Hiace passenger bus registration number HB347. The incident, which occurred on Saturday, May 12, left the bus extensively damaged while the car only suffered minor damage. However, it left a young lady who was a passenger on the bus with a bloody nose and also caused a huge pileup of traffic in the Newtown Highway near the Fortune Junction but closer to Citronia. The bus was traveling to Point Michel at the time of the accident while the car was just pulling out from a garage in the area. The driver of the bus tried to avoid the collision, which caused him to run off the road and collided with a tree, but was still hit by the car. Pedestrians, bus drivers and other motorists alike who have been complaining about the congestion of traffic on Independence Street as a result of the bus stop which served the Stock Farm College students and other areas was moved there may now get some relief. The relief will come effective May 31st as the bus stop on Independence Street will be moved to the bus stop by the Isilo Black Bridge, indicated by Police Chief Superintendent Cyril Carrett. He also mentioned that another reason for the move is because of the congestion. Bus drivers have been stopping to drop off passengers anywhere in Roseau, which is not acceptable, and traffic in Roseau needs to be regulated, said Mr. Carrett.
As far as I understood, every month we have an average of 50 vehicles coming into the country. 50 vehicles coming into the country. And therefore, in order to alleviate traffic congestion on Independence Street, we are, from the 31st of this month, moving the bus drop-off points, the bus stop on Independence Street, between the Isilo Black Bridge and the Great George Street Bridge. So the passengers will drop their passengers off there and move.
Mr. Carrett also pointed out that there is need for more bus stops, but the proper areas have to be identified. However, many persons have mixed feelings about the move, while others are for it and others are against it.
I mean, the change from Independence Street to one of the major bus stands, I mean, it's a good thing, I must say. I just think that if it's organized very well, we will see what it was meant to do to ease the flow of traffic in town. But it has to be organized very well.
Mr. Blondell also said that if it is not organized properly, there will be a backlog of traffic every day, which is more chaos than it is actually solving the problem.
Because you're talking about buses from Goodwill all the way back to Marigot. You're talking at least 400 buses trying to get to one area. Think of 400 buses coming one spot one time. But if it's done in an organized manner, it can work.
Mr. Blondell also highlighted a plan that would possibly ease the congestion on the bus stop.
My personal view of it is you designate two areas solely to buses. One, you designate River Street between the two bridges so that the buses using the Portsmouth area can drop off their persons there and go down straight to their bus stops. The buses using this bus stop, leave them there but realign the bus stop. So you come in via Independence Street, the Isilo Black Bridge, and you get out via Pizza Palace rather than going back onto River Street. So nothing would be able to come in and only buses would go out. So the buses would be out of town, technically speaking.
However, another bus driver had a different view of the situation.
Putting the bus stop here for all the buses of the area, there will be too congested for the time because the volume of buses we already cannot take it in that bus stop, much less to put the other buses with us. So my point of view, it's not suitable.
Another bus driver, Mr. Alexander Maynard Willis, says the best idea is to prevent vehicles from entering the bus stop from Pizza Palace so all traffic will exit from that area.
Now another problem we have now, I don't know what step can be taken, is drivers. Okay, I drive in from Maho, right? I do in Maho, from Maho. Now we're having a lot of foreign drivers, people from all over, just coming and us driving, just coming Maho and us Maho Massacre. You know, everybody's supposed to have, you from Maho, you're supposed to drive from Maho. You from Senjo, you're supposed to stay Senjo. You from Layu, you're supposed to stay Layu. That's the way it's supposed to be. We can't have all people from all over just coming into Maho and drive bus. We're supposed to get a control over that, you know. If you're from Senjo, you're supposed to drive Senjo people. If you're from Maho, you're supposed to drive Maho people. If you're from La Pointe, you're supposed to stay La Pointe. That's what that can control the bus driving business.
So some bus drivers say the move will give some relief, while others are saying it will cause more headaches. Despite the obvious benefits, many girls never consider a career in ICT, and it is for the reason that the International Telecommunications Union have decided to recognize Girls in ICT Day on the 4th Thursday of every April. In Dominica, the Ministry of Information, Telecommunication and Constituency Empowerment has been organizing and hosting activities to join the world in celebrating girls and women in ICT.
The Ministry of Information, Telecommunications and Constituency Empowerment has invited companies and organizations and public places to participate in the observation of International Telecommunications and Information Society Day on Thursday, May 17th by recognizing any female employees who are involved in ICT usage or in ICT management in their companies. We are proud to mention that SAT Telecommunications is one of the institutions where there is a young employee who has excelled in the technical areas of ICT, and she is going to be identified.
SAT TV is pleased to announce the presence of one such influential woman in that field of ICT within the company. Ms. Veronica Laura has worked in the technical department of SAT Telecommunications Ltd for almost 15 years and is the premier electronic technician. She says that when informing persons of a job, there are mixed feelings as there are few women in her field.
They ask me a lot of questions and they're like, I can't believe you're doing that, I cannot believe, and you know, they find it very unusual, especially when I go out in the field and stuff like that, but I'm accustomed to that.
There is a lack of awareness among students, teachers and parents on what a career in ICT could offer. Attitudes can change when girls are invited to meet ICT professionals and see what the job is like.
It is a very challenging field and it can be very interesting once you get into it. So there's nothing wrong in doing electronics and getting to know what electronics is like. It's a very interesting field, and I'm sure that if other young people get involved, they will like it. As long as they have a mindset and they put their mind to it, they will be able to do it and succeed, just like I did.
Employment in the ICT sector has continued to grow significantly in recent years. In comparison to the general growth of the sector, women's employment figures in advanced economies are actually in decline, which suggests that the issue is not just an entry-level problem, but also one of demotivation or retention and promotion of women within the sector at many levels.
We have also been asking again companies and organizations to accommodate small groups of students, especially female students, to visit their enterprise and experience how ICT is being used within the company, especially by female employees. This is all in keeping with the theme of World Telecommunications and Information Society Day, which is Women and Girls in ICT.
The Ministry of Education and Human Resources Development hosted the official ceremony to launch Library Week 2012 under the theme Building Community at Your Library at the Marigot Branch Library. Parliamentary representative of Marigot, Mr. Edison James, says Marigot residents are focused on developing their community, and he believes that this is a key objective.
Of the May Fest, which included a truncated breadfruit fest, and that was truncated because there was not sufficient breadfruit at the time. But I'm advised by those who advised me that it will be rescheduled for some time later this year. And those who come from La Plaine or wherever else they come from, we extend an invitation to you to be here later on in the year. That was a major community activity, the Mayfest, and I noticed that your theme is building community at your library.
Mr. James says it is important for parents to encourage their children to read as well as educate them at home. In addition, he mentioned that it may be a good idea for Chief Librarian to organize a Nature Island Festival in Marigot, because education and information plays an important role in keeping the people informed.
The library in Marigot, this branch, I must confess, has not been the greatest hub of activity, something which we all, I'm sure, regret. This perhaps is not peculiar to Marigot, but it is a situation, no doubt, that has been influenced in some regard by the advent of the information superhighway, e-books, e-commerce, and so on. I was reading an article by Dr. Esprit in one of the U.S. publications around the place called The Analyst, edited by someone who has Marigot roots.
Mr. James says all citizens need education to better themselves in order to pursue their true potential. Chief Librarian Mrs. Magdalene Robbins says a lot of help is offered at the library for the children.
All ages live more satisfying lives. The public library in Roseau, Portsmouth and Granby offer resources online and in print to assist users with research, fieldwork and projects. We offer homework help, literacy skills programs, sessions in poetry and public speaking. We teach various topics through fun activities such as the summer program, holiday crafts, and animal awareness day.
Mrs. Magdalene mentioned that the children can come to the library after school and will receive help with their homework and in growth and development. She believes it is important that the children are educated from an early age.
Cultivate and foster community growth and involvement. However, attempts to offer all of these services to other communities remain a challenge. The communities often do not show a strong enough interest, and like everything else, the user statistics are significant in attracting resources for development of a service. That is why we are now encouraging the community to partner with us to make the Marigot Library a vibrant place, not just for the children to get books, for reading, but for the whole community. How can we build community at your library? I'd like to make a few suggestions.
The owners and employees of the Muslim store received a shock this morning when they arrived to work, noticing that the store was burglarized. An employee of the store, Miss Karen Nicholas, who is a supervisor of the jewelry department, says that the store was broken into just after 1 a.m. this morning. Miss Nicholas also said that the thieves used a tool to cut the padlocks, which secured the shutter over the door, and then used another tool to pry the door open. After gaining forced entry into the store, the thieves stole a number of items such as car stereos, a 23-inch flat-screen television, a PlayStation 3, an Xbox 360, 2 Nintendo Wii's, 4 laptops, cell phones, and a large quantity of gold jewelry. Mrs. Nicholas says that this is unfair since the owner spent a lot of money to purchase the items, and thieves took so much items which values in the tens of thousands of dollars, which is a huge loss to the company. Ms. Nicholas also mentioned that since moving to the location on the Bayfront 2 years ago, this is the first time the place has been robbed. She went on to say that anyone who knows the perpetrators of this crime, please call any police station or pass the information to any police officer so this can be investigated. She's also hoping that the police will work expeditiously to bring the thieves to justice. Persons wishing to join the police force may now have a harder time in doing so, as the vetting process is going to be improved as the concerns of the public have been heard.
I can say that the process has worked well in the past and no system is flawless. Therefore, new arrangements have been made to tighten on the system, and one such arrangement is the circulation of photographs of prospective recruits every police station.
Superintendent Karen also stated that the Police Act is now being reviewed with a view to enhancing the quality of service that police officers deliver.
And to advise that a number of measures have been implemented to ensure that the crime rate is kept at a minimum. They are reactivation of the Community Policing Initiative. This program is now being headed by Assistant Superintendent Irish. The introduction of the hotline 1-800-HINT as 1-800-4468 in partnership with the Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce and LINE. Members of the public are encouraged to call anonymously.
He also mentioned that the Act needs to be revised as there are acts from such a long time which needs to be updated. He also added that the Act will deal with the discipline of officers, which is currently unsatisfactory, along with improvements to enhance the Act as necessary. Superintendent Carrett says in an effort to reduce the crime rate, task force patrols will be intensified, along with the Criminal Investigation Department officers and community police officers.
Marking of a number of police vehicles for easier identification. I want to publicly commend the officers for their tireless dedication to duty. Other law enforcement agencies, especially Canine Unit of the Customs Department, and the general public for their continued support. The police department stands committed to making every effort to reduce the present level of crime and providing residents the requisite measure of safety and security.
A mother and daughter duo from the village of Marigot are the proud producers of 3 new recently published children's books. The books Giggles for Kids O, For Laugh's Sakes, and Ria with Nana are written for young children aged 3 years and older.
These books are somehow based on village life. They are short funny stories, one of which is written in dialect, and which is this one here, which is O for Laugh's Sakes. This one here is Giggles for Kids. It has questionnaires at the back that you could use as comprehensional questions. This one is Read with Nana. It's for children ages 3 and up. It has ABCs, alphabetical letters, numbers, pictures that you could read for your child.
They are written with a distinct Dominican flavor and integrate dialect into the storytelling. The books also offer an educational opportunity for the children, reading it as comprehensive questions are available at the end of each. Winsome Dinard says that she has always enjoyed writing and is pleased to have published these books.
I've been doing writing for a very long time. Just that I never really had anything published before, except a little thing in the Marigold, the paper here in Marigold. That was about a few years ago. I was inspired really by my parents to do writing, but they are now both deceased, and I like writing. I've always loved it. That's been my passion, to write.
The books, which were written by Winsome Dinard and illustrated by her daughter, Ernelle, were launched at the opening of Library Week in Marigot. We now go to Ms. Destin Joseph for our court news.
Mr. Alvin Franklin Alexander from the village of Grand Bay was charged with possession of cocaine and intent to supply to another on Saturday, May 12. Inspector Claude Weeks indicated that police officers were patrolling in the Rosa district when the defendant was spotted and searched. After being searched, Mr. Alexander was found with 28 grams of cocaine wrapped in foil paper in a clear plastic bag. Ms. Baptiste also said that there are a number of drug users on the streets due to suppliers such as Mr. Alexander, and she believes a message needs to be sent. Mr. Alexander was charged with $2,500 to be paid by August or face 6 months imprisonment, as well as $5,000 to be paid by October 31st or 8 months imprisonment. In more court news, 35-year-old Mr. Nicholas Roberts from Pottersville was charged with theft on Thursday, May 10. Mr. Nicholas says that he was extremely hungry and could not locate a mango tree. He said he is tired of begging, and he admits that he is in need of serious help. He explained that he went to Baffert to have lunch at a friend's home, and when he arrived, he took a lovely smell from the victim's house. He says when he got inside the building, he heard the water running and went into the bedroom. He said he grabbed the victim's bag, jumped out of the window, and made his way to the bar where he ate and spent the money that he found in the bag. The magistrate says that Mr. Nicholas has been coming to this courtroom at the age of 13, and this is a cry for help. She believes people like Mr. Nicholas need serious help and need serious counseling. In addition, she thinks the 84-year-old victim should be able to be comfortable in her own home and did not have to witness this frightening incident. Mr. Nicholas is sentenced to 3 months imprisonment where he is guaranteed 3 meals a day. I'm Desmond Joseph reporting for SAT TV News, and back to you, Larry.
This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.